while. The road brings you wisdom, that journeying on. Watch out for fear, it'll pick your soul clean. And when you're back down on the street again, lean on that wisdom that feeds every part of the dream. Two roads diverged in the woods near a river, where your angels look down and they smile. And you found your true passion on a road not taken, and you carried on into the wild. Into the wild, come hell or high water. Into the wild, through the rain and the hail. Into the wild, where the birds sing in harmony and your angels all smile. They say carry on into the wild. Carry on into the wild.
Our time in the Santa Monica Mountains of Malibu was very important because it was such a transformative period in our lives. Because when we got to Malibu, we had been traveling for a little bit, probably 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks, and had all sorts of encounters with people already. But we were still pretty much the old Julia and Gina, if you know what I mean. We had to, it was in Malibu where we learned to sleep outside, because that's actually not easy. And at first we would just cover ourselves. Our blankets were those Georgia Bulldog t-shirts, if you believe it or not. Crazy, huh? Those were our blankets, because we did not have blankets or sleeping bags or anything like that. But we slept in some trees in Malibu, and it got cold. It was November, so the days were still hot, but the nights were pretty cold, we thought. And all we had was those t-shirts, and we covered ourselves with the t-shirts. And then we finally had a blanket. We got a blanket from the Malibu thrift store, and that was nice. And we both crawled under that blanket and slept under the blanket together. And we'll show you a picture of the blanket in a little bit. And we had to learn to sleep outside, outdoors, because it's really different to survive like that. We had no idea. It was hard. And we always said to ourselves that we do have the option of returning to Munich at some point. We told ourselves that it's okay, you know, if it just doesn't work for us, we can go back someday, go back to Munich. But then again, it was not really an option, because we really wanted to stay in America. So we somehow had to adjust. It somehow had to work. We had to make it work. And it wasn't easy at first, but we always, because we had each other, so we would always just talk to each other and still have fun, even though it was cold or it was raining. And then you get used to it, it becomes your new reality, and you become new people in a way. And it suddenly is normal, and you do sleep outside, and it's no big deal anymore. Like now, right? It's no big deal.
No big deal.
You won't be in it for a moment. Gina is suffering because of the heat. We're sitting here. We thought we want to do sightseeing and go to the waterfront of St. Mary's. We haven't done it yet.
No.
We got so comfy here in our spot in the woods. And so we're just sitting here rambling about the past, but okay. Yes, cut.
Come all ye fair and tender ladies, be careful how you court young men. They're like a star on a summer's morning. First you think they're there, then they're far away. They'll tell to you some loving story. They'll tell to you some far-flung lie, and then they'll go.
Another very important thing about our time in Malibu was that that's when we changed our style. So that's important to mention, I think, because I was never a hat person, and neither was Gina. We didn't like to wear hats at all. That was just not something we would do, wear a hat. But then I guess the sun was beating down, and also we liked the style, the Western style, cowboy, cowgirl style. And we got us those hats, like straw cowboy hats from the Malibu thrift store. And then we started wearing those. But in the beginning, we did not feel comfortable wearing those around people. So it was just on the weekend, I think on Sundays. Also, the Malibu Public Library was closed, and we just didn't go there. Or do you remember if the...
I don't know. Don't remember.
Gina doesn't remember. But I think maybe on Sundays the public library was closed. So then we stayed, can I say where it was? Big Rock, the Big Rock neighborhood. There were these rocks, and we would just sit on those rocks and wear our hats and feel like outlaws or, cowgirls. And then we started changing, and we started feeling comfortable wearing those hats around people, and we started wearing them all the time, and they became our new, how do you call this? Signature thing, something. Yeah, it's the German girls with the hats. And we started our style changed a lot, actually. We started wearing different clothes, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it was different than what we wore before? Maybe you want to be in it for a moment. Gina is here again. Hey. Yeah, we started wearing different clothes and layers of clothes, because in the mornings it was cold, and it warmed up, then got cold again. That was Malibu. So yeah, but that was very important with the hats. And then one day those hats looked a little weathered, and we thought we need different hats. And eventually we traveled to Arizona, actually in 2009? 10. Oh, it was in 2010. Like in May or April of 2010, we traveled to Arizona, and we bought those hats, the ones that you see us still wearing. We still wear those same hats, even though they changed their appearance quite a bit since then. They're very weathered now, but they still look very cool. And people tell me many times that they like my hat, or Gina's hat. Yeah, we bought them in, I don't even know, it was Mesa, Arizona.
Scottsdale, I don't know.
Maybe in Scottsdale, actually, in a Western store. Let's see our hats, both of us in one shot in the woods of South Georgia. See, there's our hats. Yay. Wow. Still the same hats. Yeah. Wow.
Come all ye fair and tender ladies, be careful how you court young men.
And it's very dear to my heart that I give a big shout out to somebody, to Winston McCaleb of Malibu, if he's still there. We met Winston in Malibu back then. He works at the thrift store in Malibu, and I mentioned the thrift store several times because that's where we got our straw cowboy hats from and our blanket. And he's just one of the nicest people on this planet. When we left Malibu and we had all our pictures on film, we had them all developed, and we put them in these Tupperware boxes, and we just couldn't haul those around with us anymore in our backpack because we had too many. And so Winston eventually offered, because he didn't want us to lose our pictures, and he offered to keep them for us when we're traveling. And Winston, he lives in a very small shack, I would say, that they put up for him on the property of the Malibu thrift store, and it just fits a bed in. I mean, it's very small, but he kept our backpacks, 2 backpacks with pictures, for 2 years or so, until we went and picked him up. And that meant so much to us. And he used to be a train hopper, and he was always talking about that, and he thought it was cool what we're doing, or that we were kindred spirits. And so we had a connection to Winston, and he's also a Christian, and he's a very good person, and he helped us so much. And we show some pictures of Winston also in this video. Malibu was also when we, I don't have the stick anymore. I leaned it against a tree. Malibu was also when we started living by faith and trusting in God fully and all the time. We had so many experiences where we experienced God's presence and how he cared about the big things and about the little things so much. And but also I wanted to say that it was also in Malibu where unfortunately I had to come to accept that there's something evil out there as well. Because I always, when I was younger, I always believed in God and I believed in good, but I refused to believe in evil or Satan. But when we were in Malibu, we found out that as soon as things were starting to work out for us, and we were so happy because we were finally in America where we always wanted to be, Satan tried whatever he could to cut us down. And there were people out there in Malibu that were really evil, I would say, that tried to get us out of town. And unfortunately, that was also something that we experienced there. And but we had an amazing experience. I don't even know how I'm speaking, if the camera is slow right now.
Can be.
But whatever the enemy intended for evil, God will use for good, right? And there's a song like that too. That's what we experienced, and it was amazing because God is great and God is good. And there are many good people out there too. And it's very hot today. I'm sweating. I actually look better than I feel, to be honest. I expected that I look really sweaty, but I guess it's okay. But I have this winter shawl here in my hand, which seems weird, right? But I just unpacked my backpack and packed in a different way, and I came upon my winter shawl. And because we're talking about God and about goodness, about good and good people, I just want to mention or tell you that this was given to me in a church in Fortuna, California, several years ago by a Hispanic lady that we met there, because it was a Baptist church. We went to church there on Sunday, and then we were invited to stay for the Spanish-speaking service, and they had very good music. And all those people thought we were missionaries, actually, but we couldn't explain ourselves because we don't speak Spanish. But it was in the winter, and we only wore, I guess, long sleeve shirts, but very thin layer. And this lady came to me and she said, "Oh, are you cold?" Or she didn't even wait for my reply. She just went straight to her car, and she came back with this shawl. Oh, did she go to her car, or did she actually wear the shawl?
I don't remember.
She gave me several clothes, actually. She also gave me a jacket.
I think she wanted to give you her winter coat.
I think she just got out of her coat. I think the shawl she got from her car, because that's how I remember. She said, "Here, take this. But she just right away, as soon she went out of her coat, and wear this. I think I had actually washed my shirt in the sink and then wore it to let it dry. And so she hugged me and was wet and cold, I guess, or damp. And she just, no, it's winter. Got out of her coat and just gave me her coat. But I think I didn't take her coat.
No,
but I took this, it's actually a very nice shawl that I will wear in the winter. But yeah, I mean, talk about good people, and sure, like it says here, love. Does it say love?
Love is the answer.
Oh, love. I said love matters. No, love is the answer. Love is the answer, and God is love. So yeah, I don't remember her name, if she ever told me her name.
We probably couldn't even talk to her. I think they all only spoke Spanish.
I know, but isn't that incredible? I mean, that's incredible. Like Saint Martin, who gave his coat to the poor beggar in the winter. I mean, she gave me her coat or jacket. It's incredible. And we had many experiences like that. Like, really. Like also in Malibu, we had a box that we want to send out to our family with little gifts. And the postage was $50, and we probably only had 2 or something like that. We had no money in cash really at the time, but we always knew that we would be able, we trusted that we would somehow be able to ship that box out to Europe. And we just one day, we just walked to the post office. It was just, today it will be shipped out. And we just trusted in that because we had that feeling in our hearts. Gina actually went into the post office with the box and stood in line to ship it out, even though she had no money. I was sitting outside, I was praying the Lord's Prayer, and I hoped a miracle would happen. And the miracle did happen. And the guy showed up and like, can I help you? What is it that you need? And I just said, yeah, we're trying to ship this box to Europe and we don't have the money. And he gave me the exact money, like $50 or whatever it was. And I ran inside. It was about Gina's turn. And I said, hey, we got the money. And we had the money. We could ship the
Box out.
Yeah, we had the postage. We could pay for the postage. Isn't that incredible? We fell down on our knees behind the post office and thank God. And it was a real miracle. And since then, we had many experiences like that where God showed us that He's right there, and incredible. And I'm so humbled by that. And by people also, when God sends us people like that lady who gave me the shawl, who are so good and who just give their jacket to us, or who don't have money themselves. Like recently we were in Stark, Florida, and we were just sitting on the curb on a parking lot, and a van was there with guys from Mexico who obviously they looked so poor, and most of them lacked some teeth, and they wore very old clothing, and they asked if we speak Spanish, and no, and they talked to us and we want to help you. And several of the guys walked up to us and they gave us some bucks, and it was incredible and it humbled us so much. And we had so many experiences like that where poor people would still share with us or feel like they should help us. And that's God, and that's the Holy Spirit. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Greetings from the Georgia Pine Forest in St. Mary's, Georgia.